Welcome to Socially Served. I'm your host, Frank Sroka. And as you know, Socially Served was created for you, the consumer, to make informed decisions. And today we have an interesting story, a journey of some sort. I have a guest here. His name is Arif Gilany, and we're going to talk about his journey. But before that, we're going to cut to this commercial break. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
The 49ers and the Chiefs buses are en route to the Super Bowl over at the Hard Rock Stadium as Super Bowl 54 gets ready to kick off. Meanwhile, back downtown at the Miami Convention Center, all is quiet as they tear down the NFL Live experience. And of course, when we were on Radio Row with all of the celebrities, thousands of media people, it's as quiet as a mouse. The only person in the building is me. And it is surreal to be the only one in this room, considering the hustle and bustle that was going on all week here on Radio Row, right here on our table where we had so many stars that came down and joined us. It was amazing. A special shout out to our sponsors, pawsandclawsnaturals.com, hemp10x.com, of course the Drive Lab, Driver Assessment and Rehabilitation, Autism Life Path, and the ADL, the Accessible Daily Living. I can't believe what I've been through this week as far as the amazing memories and moments. There's so many to capture. Remember to follow the Disability Channel on Roku. You can watch it, follow us on YouTube, and of course you can go to the website and follow the Disability Channel that way. And don't forget about me, Dave Stevens. You can find me at davestevenspeaks.com or follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course my YouTube channel. So this is it from Radio Row from one last time. I got to pack up before the janitors kick me out, but it's been a great week. For the last time, this is Dave Stevens on Radio Row for the Disability Channel.
We're back with Socially Served, and I'm here with my guest, Arif Gilany. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here. You know, I don't even know where to begin with our story and our journey. And maybe you can talk to our audience about your experiences as a Kurdish refugee and how you kind of came here as a newcomer to Canada. And I mean, then there's these challenges that you've had with diversity and your own disability, and how you started this wonderful company called the Camel Company, which I can't wait to hear about. But maybe we can go backwards and talk about your journey, talk about your challenges, and I think this is going to be really helpful for our viewers.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Yes, going back to the journey, let me just start by coming here. A lot of Canada is a country of immigrants, so I love this country, and let me start right there. I came to Canada as a refugee just after 6 years of really staying on the road and from this country to that country. But even prior to that, when I was 13, my brother who's passed away now gave me a book, and that book was called Uncle Tom's Cabin. So I read this book, this Canada, this country, and I'm in the middle of war, Frank. I just fell in love with the concept of Canada. So I started a map of Canada right in my room. I started putting posters, just really fell in love with Canada, and here I am. I was just, that was 13, and then when I was 24 years old, I arrived here with, just making my dream come true to arrive in Canada.
And that's all part of the dream, and that's kind of what I want to connect to you about, because it is quite a journey that you've lasted. And I mean, it's interesting. I mean, you actually wrote a book called The Mountains Are Calling, and this is a book that you wrote about your experiences. And I've read it, and it's, you know, it's fascinating about, you know, your ordeals that you went through just to get to this country. And I'm reading this book, and I'm going, wow, I don't know if I can even have be as brave as you were to kind of come to this country and face new challenges and diversity as well, and start a company and come with your family. So maybe we could talk a little bit about that. So we do have an insert of this book as well, and we're going to mention it later on in the show. But you know, this is an accomplishment. Not many people write a book.
Thanks, Frank. And this book was a result of really getting me here to this channel, because Not long ago, I was in a hospital, the Toronto Brain Injury Clinic, recovering from a brain injury that triggered the writing of this book, because I had a year in my hand in hospitals and places, so my memory was wiped out. As I memorized things, I started to record it, just to get all the details. And when I finished it and I reread it, and I was mesmerized by what came out, and I couldn't even remember it. So this is really a result of being, again, this is the ability channel, but disabilities are not all visual, it's not all, you can't see them. For instance, I'm disabled. In one ear, I don't have any hearing, less than 20% as a result of that injury. So first step is really to understanding. And I had to understand myself by writing it down.
Excellent. And I mean, you're helping others actually understand that, yeah, there are invisible disabilities, invisible barriers. It's not quite what you see. And a lot of the individuals that I deal with is through the social services. You know, there are a lot of challenges, and in terms of employment, it's also difficult too. But you're kind of a self-made person, I would say, because you kind of looked at these challenges and said, you know what, I'm going for it. And I think that's really inspirational for our viewers.
Thanks, Frank. Again, it goes back to the origin of arriving in Canada, so I'm going to go back and forth just like a zipper. It just all ties in together. When I was brand new, just had a few dollars in my pocket, and I just rented my first place with a friend, and I was walking down the street springtime looking for furniture or anything I could buy. I walked down by this yard sale, and I had very little money on me, but the first thing that caught my eye was a book, and I was just learning English. It was a book by Tony Robbins, Awakening the Power Within, and I read that book with great difficulty, but it inspired me that I'm here now. This is Canada. This is my dream. So what am I going to do from here onwards? And that was really my question back then. And then going back to the injury and looking back at all the things I did, just brought me back to understand that I have the ability to rebuild myself back. Because priorly, in the war, I got injured. My chin is all broken. It's in few pieces. It was in a plate steel for a year. I recovered from that early injury, and then I could have recovered. Canada's a great country, all the resources, all the doctors, police, everybody. It was a result of a hit-and-run accident. So I want to thank everybody who was involved in my rescue and me being here right now.
Wow. So now moving forward, tell me a little bit about the Camel Company. So interesting. What a great name.
Thank you.
And great products, I'm sure, because we're going to go visit your store. We're also going to go down there and visit your store.
Thank you
so
so
that'll
much.
be a clip that we'll insert. But tell us about the
A few years back, Frank, thanks again. Again, it comes to the ending of my book. But a few years back, my mother had a stroke. And she lives back in Iran in the cold country. And I was desperate to see her maybe for one last time, because I had been here a few years and I'd never seen them. So I went back and see her. On the way in Istanbul, I stopped by in the famous bazaar. It said, camel hair for pain. So I buy a package and I take it to my mother, and she really enjoyed it. After a few days, she was able to walk around. And I was really surprised, and curiosity kicked in, and I emailed some of my friends here, said, listen, look into camel to see why is it so good for, especially for things like arthritis, knee pain, inflammation, things like that. And since then, we launched a company, and the brain injury happened exactly the first year. That again, the ability is really put in your own mind. 7 months into the company, really excited. We had a great feedback from our customers at the CNE and other places. And I'm biking down one day and the injury happened. So it all ties in just like a, what can I tell you? Yes, the universe is in great order, and that's why I'm here with you. And I want to thank you for this opportunity.
No, not a problem. And I think sharing your experiences is going to be very helpful for our viewers as well. So, so a little bit, I went on your website, and you can give us the website to our viewers right now, if you want to give the website.
Yeah, absolutely. again, adding another note on top of this, for the last 6-7 years, even throughout the injury, I've been marketing the products at various hospitals in GTA around Toronto. People have given great feedback. Some people have had enormous pain or discomfort. Just give them comfort, and lots of customers, most of our customers come back. So they, if you want to check out, do our research, read our research, see some testimonials at www.camelcompany.ca, camelcompany.ca, and we're consistently upgrading, so there's going to be new information, research. I'm really interested in pain. Most of my life has been full of pain. I just have this mission to help people get relief from pain.
Well, I know your logo too. When I'm looking at it, it says Camel Heel, right?
Right.
So I thought that was kind of fascinating.
Thanks.
So your products too, they're everything from like scarves to hats to...
It's all base layers, starting with socks based on our research. Feet get cold first, and then it starts basically the whole upper body. So we got joint support, lumbar support. We even have jackets. Now we have sleepwear, like quilts that are... I've tested all of these products out over the last 5 years myself personally. I wouldn't put myself right here in front of Canadians and tell them if I really didn't believe that this helped people, because it helped my mother and thousands of other customers who have and come back consistently.
It's amazing. And so the camel wool, it's wool? Is it like
Yes,
the
it's
texture?
in where camel is known, it's actually camel hair, it's known. And camel is the only animal in cultures that it's known to, it's referred to as a person, for example. It's not like a cattle, it's not like, it has a character, it has a personality.
Okay.
And the hair is just like human hair. And the camel milk, which we get so many requests right now, we're working to making it through a lot of red tape to bring it here, is good for a lot of things like autism and all of those other illnesses. But the wool itself, it grows in the extreme temperatures, over 50 degrees Celsius to minus 30, 40. So it has a lot of healing powers, healing properties.
Wow. So you did a lot of research in terms of sourcing the product and marketing the product and understanding the benefits of it.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, it was just an idea, a really simple idea, and I dig into it with a great curiosity, like the curious George. When I go after something, I really don't stop. Like hinders don't mean anything to me. If you put me in a maze, I may die in there, but I'll finally find a way out. And this was like a maze. Nobody knew about Canada. In Canada, very few people knew about camel wool, and all of my resources were here. Elsewhere, it's very well known. For example, in England, in Poland, in Russia, in Siberia, in places where it's extremely cold, but the cultures have been exchanged over history. So here, we're still a new country. I'm really excited about the future of Canada.
See, I can feel your passion about your product. I feel your passion about what you're doing. It's so great to talk to you about this. So what piece of advice would you give our viewers, if anything?
The only piece of advice that really I can give is that to focus on your abilities. We all have powers, we all have abilities. If we have movement in our body, we can do something. And if you don't, even like Christopher Reeves, even on a condition like that, he did amazing things, and people have written books. There's no such thing as really disability, in my opinion. We all have challenges, different challenges. That's all, and that's it.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on our show today. And for your viewers, we're going to actually go to your location, and we're going to show your products and talk to your customers and take a look at the products as well. So we're going to do that now, and we'll be right back after this message. Welcome to TDC Today. I'm your host, Frank Sroka, and we're at the Camel Company of Canada. And I'm here with owner Arif Gilany, and we're really pleased to be here. And I just wanted to talk to you about how you started this unique shop.
Thank you, Frank. I really appreciate you coming out. But in 2013, my mother had a heart attack, so I was on my way to visit her. They live in overseas, so in Istanbul, I came across these products that claimed to be good for arthritis and knee pain. So I bought a set for her. I stayed there for a few months and saw how she progressed over time, and really got excited about introducing it to all Canadians.
Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit more about certain products? I see, you know, we're looking in the store here, and I see hats, and I see warmers and leggings and all sorts
Yes.
of jackets, everything. I mean, this is incredible.
Thank you, Frank. It's been a progression based on our customer feedbacks over the last 7 years. We started with only 2 products, which was for knee and for the waist, and we introduced that to Canadians, and they came back, and many of them, repeat customers, asked for other products. So we have been developing products since we started, and now we have a full set of apparels for the whole body.
Oh, that's fantastic. So can you tell us about some specific products that you find that are, you know, that everyone can kind of use?
At this time of the year, Frank, most people think it's not time to use wool, but
Right.
it's actually the right time because we have products developed specifically for activities of springtime, for example.
Oh,
Right
okay.
now, a lot of people go out in the backyard and do gardening, so they get back pain, or people who have abdominal problems can use this product. Very stretchable, very comfortable, goes around the body. So the waist support specifically supports the back, tucks in belly, micro massages the core, which is good for digestion and a whole lot of other issues. And keep the kidneys warm, which is the engine to the body.
Wow, awesome. So in terms of how you started the company, you've mentioned, you know, how you started the products, but with the disability channel, we're also talking about you've had experience, you know, an acquired disability at first, and this is a real success story to see how you're doing with this store.
Thank you very much, Frank. Yes, as I always mention, most disabilities, some disabilities are not really visible, and mine is one of them. I had a brain injury while we started the company. That same summer that we really get excited, Frank, we opened up a store just across the street, and one day I'm just biking, somebody hit me and left me on the side of the street. So I had a brain injury. I was in a coma for 10 days just on the offset of the company.
Wow. And
But
now
here
here
we are.
you've recovered. Wonderful shop. I'm so pleased to be able to interview you today. And by the way, we're actually going to cut back to our studio because we had a very informal interview there. So we're going to cut back to that interview in the studio with you. And again, want to let individuals know about where your shop is located, how they can order products, that type of thing.
Sure. Right now for the season that we're in, there's a lot of health challenges. We are really the promoters. I overcame my own disability really by surrounding myself with people and products that help my own health. So this is a product that's been developed based on the health needs of the public. If anybody's got knee problems, arthritis, any pains, this is a natural solution to relieve from pain and also feel comfortable. And we also have a luxury line right now for the springtime.
So where can we find your shop?
We are at 7181 Yonge Street, Unit 285 on Shops on Yonge, or you can order online at www.camelcompany.ca. 100% money back guarantee with all our products, because we really want to serve you. We want you to try the products, because 60-70% of our customers are repeat customers. People who have tried it, they come back.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for the interview today, and pleasure being in your shop. And to our viewers, now we're going to cut back to the studio. So don't go away. Thank you so much for joining us on Socially Served, and thank you viewers for joining us as well, and we'll see you next time on Socially Served.
Thank you, Frank.